All right. How you doing? Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. This is not a product review channel. It's not what I typically do. However, from time to time, I get an email from a company, a lot of Chinese companies, and after one or two sentences of flattery, they ask me if I'd be interested in their product. They try to sell me on the fact that, hey, my content is a sort of place where they think their product would reach an audience. And if it's a product that seems interesting to me, I accept it and I kind of do my best at doing one of these videos. And I am not a professional reviewer on these products. So the things I'm going to point out to you might not always be exactly what the company thinks is the best features of their product, but it's just what I think is interesting. And today we're talking about this company here, CEENR. It's CEENR. The spelling on all these products coming out of China, I don't understand. So I don't know how to pronounce them, which is ironic because when you get the emails from them, they have like the most American names, which we know that they're not their real names. It's just kind of funny and it's interesting to me and I understand it. But I'm 100% certain when I'm talking to a woman from China in emails, her name's not Ashley. Her name's not really Nikki. Her name's not Diana, and it's not Tom it's just funny to me. But I have a friend who does work for a Chinese company and he's a skateboard guy and all his decks are made in China and he's got an apartment in China and all that. And he says they do this because it's just easier to pronounce the name, right? The Chinese spelling and pronunciation, we're not going to get it right. It's like me with my last name. Some of you know, I didn't say my own last name correctly until I was actually in my 30s. It's a long story. It's kind of funny. You've probably heard it before. At any rate, CEENR. Now, what this company is here is that they make a replacement battery or replacement batteries for power tools. And they've got a universal system where it's a battery and then there's these little adapters on them that you slide on to work with your power tools. I suppose the idea is, and I did look this up this morning on Amazon, one of their 5 amp hour batteries is about $31 or so on Amazon. I don't know what it is on the website. They did provide me with a link to their website, which will be in the description below. And so you look at $31 versus, of course, you need the adapter. I'm not exactly sure what that costs. But they also make a battery that doesn't need an adapter, which is a much larger battery. We're going to see all this. Stick around. But like a 5 amp hour Makita battery, right? This is at minimum like $89 on Amazon. Usually they're closer to $100 in that range, probably with shipping and everything else. This happens to be a 4 amp hour that I picked up here. But a 5 amp hour, yep, that's what this is. And I have genuine Makita batteries. I've never been big on the aftermarket batteries, and maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe the technology is such that even the aftermarket batteries hold up just as well as the Makita batteries. I don't know. But what I thought was interesting about these batteries, and is not the case with the one large one, I think this is an 8 amp hour. We're going to open the box in a moment. Is that this battery comes with 2 outputs on it, a USB standard and a USB-C. Now, the videos I've seen on this show that you have to charge it through the USB-C cable, and that doesn't make sense to me. So let's see if there's any instructions in here. And my goal is to see if this will charge with the adapter on it in a Makita charger, because if it does, you're golden. I suppose the reason the other channels are charging them with the USB-C cable is just because, they might have the tool but not the charger. So they might have a Makita screw gun, but not a Makita charger. And that's why they're going with this system, because they want to keep that screw gun. And the benefit of this system, as I was saying, is it's for people who, over the years, you've accumulated tools from different companies. So if you let's say you got a Milwaukee and a Ryobi and a Makita, a DeWalt, whatever it is, if you have a mix of different power tools, well, if you were going to buy the proprietary batteries from those companies for those specific tools and the chargers, I mean, you start spending a whole bunch of money, whereas you could spend less money and then just buy adapters and use the same battery, just swapping out the adapters for the full range of tools that you have that are, again, a mix match of tools. My suggestion to you, if you're new to power tools, you're just getting into this and you want to accumulate a good collection. I've got 4 bags of tools behind me that we're going to plug these into later after I charge them, if they charge. And we're going to see how they fit on all the different tools. Of course, if you put it on a screw gun, it's going to fit all the screw guns. But will it fit the circular saw? You know, will it fit the Sawzall? It should, right? But we're going to do that. We're going to see how practical that is. So let me give you a good close-up of the boxes with the information. You guys can screenshot that, and then we'll do an unboxing, and then we'll see if they charge. Should be interesting. Don't go anywhere. It's only going to get better. All right, so let's grab what is the standard here, which would be this one here. And I've not yet taken these out of the box. We have an operator's manual here, and it's got a Type A port, Type C port, Type C port. Anyhow, let's just see here for charging. Charge device. So it is showing here that they want you to charge or charge other devices. Okay. It doesn't look like they actually show you how to charge the battery itself here, so that's interesting. Hopefully it'll work on the charger. At any rate, this is the box. This is the bottom of the box. So there's a bunch of information there. Just want you guys to be able to, if you need to screenshot this for any reason and look up what's on the box, you can do that. This is the battery itself. And what I thought was interesting about this, as I was saying, let's see if it comes with a charge. Looks like there's 2 bars of charge on this. Now this has a USB-C right here, and it has a standard USB here. You guys can, am I flipping this around right? There we go. You guys should be able to see that on screen. And I notice it does not come with any cables, so that's up to you. I guess they figure most people have USB-C cables. This is the adapter for Makita tools. It should be, anyhow. So okay, so I have to fit that in there. Now I'm sliding it in. Or maybe I'm not. Maybe we gotta push something down here. Alright, so you guys know, if you haven't been here before, I always try to do things before looking at instructions. How to install the adapter. Align the protruding metal blades, the adapter. There's no buttons to push. Putting it on. This is supposed to slide right on here, and okay, that's it. Little force, you know. Little hammer usually fixes just about anything. So here we are. It's on there. It is secure. Let's see here. I happen to have a Makita screw gun, and I just wanted to see if it'll actually fit on here. And it does. And look at that. It's got some charge in it, so that's cool. Now, again, why did I even accept this? It's because of these 2 ports right here. I thought to myself, you know, I'm oftentimes on the road, and maybe I'm in somebody's house or something, and if this has a full charge on it, and I have this with my kit, I could charge my phone if my phone's dying, you know, or some other product with this. I like that idea. I feel like these batteries, even the Makita batteries, I feel like it'd be really neat if you could build other things into these batteries. Matter of fact, there's adapters on these where you can turn this into a soldering gun station. Clips right on. There's a dial. Tells you what the temperature is and everything. You could charge. Apparently, you can jump a car with these now, and it would be kind of neat if batteries had like even a little button on the side with a little light if you wanted to use it that way. Or again, a USB-C or regular USB port. It just would make this more user-friendly for other things. You know, you're carrying so many of these around. it's just proprietary to your tool, that's fine. That's what it's designed for. But the fact that this battery has this option, I just think it's neat. Now, let's get to this one here. And again, you guys can screenshot the back of that if you think it'll help you with anything. This was a nice offer of them to send me this. Another operator's manual that's not going to tell me anything. Let's see here. This one appears to have no charge. It does have a light system here to tell you about the charge. And let's see if this goes on here. And it does. And it is heavy, and it is totally dead, and that is fine. I didn't expect to have a charge. But I wanted to point out, like, look at the size of these batteries compared to a 5 amp hour Makita battery. All right, now typically on a screw gun, this is the Makita subcompact line. I tend to run the smaller 2 or 3 amp hour batteries just because it's lightweight, and these last a very long time. They're super powerful. But I just want you to compare the size here because it may or may not be for you. Again, I think this is more for, you know, budget-minded people. They want to save money on batteries, or again, you have a multitude of different tools and you want to use these batteries with different adapters. But look at the size of that. I mean, that is massive, this battery. I don't, that's a thing right there. I don't know. We'll see. This might be good for me to have charged and keep in the bag that I have with my my half-inch drive impact driver that I use when I'm working on the vehicle for suspension work and whatnot, because it'll last a little bit longer. Theoretically, we'll see. So let's see. Right now, we'll do a quick test. This is all on screen, and we'll see if this will charge right now, this way. And it is not. That is not charging, and that's a bummer. Okay, so you cannot charge this battery from a Makita charger, which means you're going to be stuck charging this with a USB-C cable. And, I just thought to myself, if this plugs in here, why wouldn't it plug into here and work? Let's see about this one, because this has to charge from here. There's no other input. And there we go. Okay. So, the larger battery that does not have the adapter on it, like this one, will charge in the Makita charger. Doesn't make sense, does it? You would think... Yep. So again, with the adapter, it will not charge in the charger. Now you know. So I'll get a USB-C cable out. I will charge both of these batteries. And we'll get back to you momentarily. For you, it'll be a moment. For me, it's probably going to be a couple hours. Okay, so here, just hit the tripod there. Here's the battery. It's the USB-C input. And I'm using the same charger I use on my phone. And I don't know. I'm assuming this is charging. It's just, here we go. There we go. So I can now see, you might be able to see this on camera, the green light. The first green light is full. The second one is blinking. So I'll check in on that in a little bit, and we'll see where we're at. Okay, so this battery's charged. It's been sitting here a bit. It's been, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours. It took about 40 minutes to charge this battery. The other battery is still charging. I don't think you can see this on screen. It's beeping on the last green dot over here, and that's, like I said, at least an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. It's still not fully charged. That's charging off the USB cable. That's not great. It's just going to take a long time. Now, I had a thought. CEENR. Here's the thing. If you're going to make this... I'm going to unplug this one so I can talk about both of them. Again, as I said, the thing I like about this battery is these two input-outputs here, because I think the neat thing is you got this in your kit, it's charged, you're out somewhere, and I can charge my phone or some other device or whatever. That's cool. That's the cool factor of the battery. The fact that it's less expensive than the proprietary battery for your particular tool, that's a different story, right? But on this one, because it's, this one's made specifically for Makita, I think that you're missing out here. I think, now this said it was charged. So, okay, this was all the way green. The fans had stopped, but it's only showing me 2 bars on the charger when I push the button here. So that's telling me it doesn't have a full charge, but this stopped charging. So that might be a problem, but I'll get back to what I was saying. CEENR, if you want people to buy this, you might want to say, hey, we include these ports on this one. Why not put them on this one? That would be your selling feature to this battery, I think. Again, this is the 8 amp hour. I don't know what this sells for, but they might... Look, you'll see this video. Go to the description below. See the link that they provided me. But come back again, because they might send me more links after the video's been posted. As far as robustness, the type of plastic and whatnot, it's hard to say. I've heard people pick this plastic apart, but I don't know if I see a big difference with that. It's just time will tell with this, okay? Let's plug it into some other tools and see how it works in all the Makita tools. Okay, really, I was just checking the camera. I had to watch that clip to make sure I was in the screen here. The camera looked low to me. Let's plug these into the tools I have and see what they fit and what they don't fit. Because the first tool that I think we might have an issue with is the Makita circular saw. So this is the CEENR 18 volt. You know what's crazy about this too, CEENR? You put the adapter on it, it goes on the tool, but look, it's upside down. All your script is upside down, all these stickers, and if that's just a sticker, you should probably put the stickers on in the other direction. This way, when it's on the tool, you can actually read it. That's just a marketing thing. It makes you look not pro. So, you might want to get on that. Let's see if this fits in here. So this will barely fit in here. It doesn't fit in here. It won't fit in here, at least with this, with full exposure of the blade. Okay, so it doesn't, boy, I'll tell you, that's not perfect right there, that fit. It does work. You just can't get full depth of blade. It's not off by much, but that's a thing. So I wanted to show that to you first, because that's not going to work if you need the full depth of the blade on here. It's definitely not going to work with this battery. There's no doubt. I don't even think this will slide on. Okay, it does slide on. It's hitting the nut for the adjustment. And then obviously, well, yeah, that actually works okay. It's not terrible. It's about the same as this one fit. So that's interesting. So that was the first big one, because I just assumed it would be a problem. Now, I've got the Makita. This is the Sawzall. I love this thing because it's a one-handed tool. I like using these long wood cutting blades sometimes. I use this to trim trees sometimes, like on my property in Arizona. This will fit, obviously. I just want to show you what it looks like. So this is your 8 amp hour, which is going to make this thing a lot heavier. But again, if you're a man, it won't be a problem. I mean, obviously this is going to fit. We're not going to have any clearance issues with these things. And this does fit cleaner on this. I got an even spacing everywhere, unlike the saw. Just double check this 8 amp. Same thing here. No problems. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I've got this bag that I typically have in the van, and these are my off-grid, off-road mechanic tools. I happen to bring these with me everywhere I go. So I've got this big impact driver. This is what I think where this 8 amp hour is going to shine. Although if it charges all the way, the fact that lasts, well, that's interesting. That's how you turn the light on. There's a little switch here. There's a light on here. If I hold it and let go. Okay, so if I hold it and just hold it, this little light comes on. That's a nice little feature. Now it's off. If I just tap it, the bars show. But again, this is only showing me 2 bars of charge. So does that mean it's not charged all the way, CEENR, if you guys are watching this? Because now I'm apprehensive about keeping this in my bag. But this here, with an 8 amp hour, if I was off-road and I'm changing a CV axle or something, and I'm removing all my lug nuts or whatever, anything I got to fix, that's why this is in the van. And I also always carry a grinder with me with grinding wheels and everything else. I might have to cut something. You know, you might have to cut a padlock somewhere to get through a gate. You shouldn't, but you might have to. Having a grinder with you, a cordless grinder, off-road, that I've used this so many times, man. You just never know. I've even seen people on their rigs where they've had things on the outside of their rigs for so long, things are rusted and they can't get to it. So if you've got a grinder with a cutoff wheel, you can use all that. I was hoping this would work. This is a little bit dubious, the fact that this does not show me a full charge. Let's see if there's another tool here where I'm nervous about clearance issues. I mean, we've got another screw gun here. Of course, we've got your multi-tool. It's going to fit on all these. With the multi-tool, I mean, I know it's going to fit all the tools. It is sliding in there nicely. No problems. My biggest thing is this battery just being so large. Again, if it does take this full charge, even though all the bars aren't lit, the fact you have 8 hours of, well, however this is supposed to work, 8 amp hours, and it says back here 144 watt hours. You guys know if you watch this channel, I don't pretend to know what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to those numbers. But I assume that this is supposed to last longer than a 5 amp hour. 8's a bigger number than 5, so I'm assuming that's how that's supposed to work. Is there another tool in here that I'm nervous about? We've got the jigsaw. Shouldn't be a problem. No problem there. I also have to point out I've probably got about, I think I have 16 Makita batteries. Most of them are the 5 amp hours, a couple 4s. I think I got a 3, a couple 2s. You know, you're using this all day, working the tool. Something that's this large is something that, you know, you understand what I'm saying. If you're moving something around all day. But a jigsaw, something like this is nice because you're not typically using this in the air like you would a screw gun. You're usually resting this on work and doing this. So you're not actually supporting the weight so much. You're just kind of pushing it around. So it would work okay on this tool. Let's see. Probably work on this. And this here, you know what? This might be the perfect thing for this big 8 amp hour, but we've got the router here. I also have a panel saw and a sander, but I'm not going to take the time to dig those out. It doesn't seem like I'm showing off then. So I'll tell you, if you're doing a lot of routing all day, it really, I don't know, man, the top heaviness on that, maybe not the best battery for this particular tool, but hey man, you're going down into a mine or something. Although, I know I'm nervous about how long this is going to last. You know what I might do for you? Oh, okay, that doesn't stay. So this is locked on. Now this is not a Makita tool. It's just the Makita color. It's some off-brand that uses the Makita batteries. It has a USB charger on the back of the handle here. I really like this flashlight. I've used it a lot. This lights up everything. It makes nighttime, daytime. Again, if I was in a cave or something, or sometimes I'm under a house, you just set this up, it's good. But that's not locked on there perfect. Let's see how that works on the Makita battery. Yeah, it doesn't rock on the Makita battery at all. So for some reason, keep in mind, this is the 8 amp hour, it doesn't have the adapter on it. It doesn't lock on and stay flush and stay there. It's rocking. You guys could probably see that on camera. See that? I don't like that. So it rocks on this as well. Not as bad. Okay, that's it. I guess I've got enough information here to give you some final thoughts. My final thoughts are, I'm just going to repeat what I've said already. If you have a bunch of different tools and you want to use one battery system maybe with adapters, maybe you could use these. Like in a pinch, if you just wanted to buy a few of these and then get the adapters for them, then they'll work on all the different tools that you own. I think for me, the cool factor were these ports. Because like I said, you know, I have a power generator in the van all the time with me. So that's usually has a pretty decent charge in it, if not 100%. So I can charge my laptop or camera gear or whatever I need to charge, even if I'm on a job site. But if I grab a kit and I go into somebody's house and I'm not with the van, or if I don't have the solar generator with me, or if I just don't want to walk away from the job and lose time to plug the phone in, I can just reach in my bag, pull this out, plug my phone in, and have it sitting there charging. Or I got my iPod that needs a charge, which I don't know how I make that work necessarily, because that plugs into an AC outlet. But the speaker for it, you know, sometimes I have a speaker and the speaker goes dead after a while. I can plug the speaker into this and keep the speaker going all day. That's what I liked about the idea of this, which is, you know, they have them there, so that has to be part of their intent. I think their overall intent, again, to reiterate, you can buy these batteries and get different adapters for the different tools that you own. We'll see how it holds up. You know, this is basically an unboxing, a basic test, and first impressions. I will use these over time, and I don't plan on doing a dedicated video again to see how well they work. But from time to time in a video, you might just see me look at the camera and go, hey, I've been using this and it worked. I'll tell you what, if they don't work, if I'm using them one day and they fail too soon, then I will let you know that. But as of right now, it seems like they're okay. They fit all the tools. Again, the 8 amp hour will charge in a Makita charger. This will not. You have to charge it strictly with the USB cord, and that's going to take hours and hours to charge fully. Keep in mind, this wasn't dead. This had 2 lights on it already. When I plugged it in, it had 1 solid light and the second one was beeping. And after about 2 hours, the last one was still beeping, so it wasn't fully charged. Although if I press the button, all of them come on. You probably can't see that from here, but all of those lights, all 4 of those lights light up. It's neat. That's all it is. It's a neat thing. Again, the cost benefit is where you're at. So the thing is, right, we don't know yet. At least I don't know yet. I'll have to fill you in later down the road. But if this battery truly has the same output as this battery, right, and it lasts the same amount of time, and this battery's around $30 to $35 or less, and this battery is $90 or more, you know, if you're a budget conscious person, you might want to go for this. And of course, the added benefit of this is the 2 other input outputs here. So you guys work out what works for you, what you think is best, and stay tuned with the channel. You guys will see me using these from time to time, and that's it. So check out the links below in the description box. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Hope CEENR's okay with it. I'm just giving you an honest opinion here. And have a great day. Be good human beings. Like Ben Franklin always said, do well by doing good, and I will catch you in the next one.